Hey there, cats and kitties. I'm the Blues Man, Johnny Blues. With this video, I'll be discussing my thoughts on episode 9 of the anime series, Scorching Ping Pong Girls. Talk about a hella intense episode. I was on the edge of my seat for this one because I really wasn't sure who they were going to have be the winner in the end in this matchup between Agati and the team captain of the opposing team. And I really have to say, one of the most masterful aspects of this episode, one that, truly impressed me, was all of the heartening background we were getting between the team captain and Kururi. The idea that Kururi had come to this school and immediately she was kind of an outcast already. All of the seniors wanted to put her to the test in table tennis and they thought they were going to wipe the floor with her, and she turned the tables on them effectively because she's been playing this sport, this game, all of her life since she was a child. She's been a workhorse to this cause. And she effectively, air quotes, kills them all. She slays every single one of them. And she ends up turning the tide for herself in that all of a sudden she's what everyone wants to become. They beg her and plead with her to teach them her skills and help them all become as badass table tennis players as she is, very naturally, after all the time she spent doing it. And so she accommodates them. But because she has that workhorse ethic, because she's been putting so much of her life into it, does she end up working them all, overworking them all, really, to the point where they all end up turning tide, away from her again. They all want nothing to do with it. They all feel like she's pushing them too hard, with the exception of the future team captain, this character who, it's really heartening to me because of how closely paralleled it is to the relationship dynamic we see between our own team captain of the main cast and Musume, and even the unfolding dynamic as yet still going on between Agati and Koyori. It's a really heartening, sort of relatable friendship and companionship dynamic going on between them, to the point where Kururi, it's arguable that she's pretty much obsessed the idea of getting her gifts and trying to build her up to make her become the team captain, whereas it was Kururi in the beginning. And she's doing this all because she wants to, thank this girl for being the only one who didn't turn away, for being the only one to continue to be a pillar of support in the cause of learning to play. And as we see, that whole flashback of them actually playing each other, and it goes into super speed mode, like, I'm wondering if Barry Allen, the Flash, is watching it in slow-mo, it's so fast. And then there's that point when she reveals she's not going to turn away, she's going to keep supporting Kururi, and Kururi starts crying, and she's like, oh, what are you crying? And she's like, no, my eyes are drooling. And she's just like, oh, God, ew. That made me laugh out loud. But the thing about it is, even in spite of all of this heartening backdrop, even in spite of seeing the histories of these characters and how closely parallel they are to our main cast of characters, it still didn't win me over to their side as far as rooting for them. As much as I've spent 2 videos talking about how memorable and unique and distinct these new cast of characters are, these opponents to our main cast, Kururi being my favorite among them, the Beetlejuice girl, for me, it's like, it still didn't twist me away from wanting to see Agati win the match. It still didn't twist me away from wanting to see Agati, Koyori, all of our main cast be the successors in this practice matchup. It was insane. Every time Agati got a single point or a double point leg up, this girl was very fast to answer to that and get those points back, gain those points back, even to the point of, through the course of the battle, she actually overtakes Agati, and she ends up getting 2 points to win one of the matchups. And they were saying all throughout the match that she was using her forehand, and every time they would mention the forehand, I would immediately knee-jerk think to myself, use the backhand. Try switching it up a little, Agati. And finally, during the final match, does Agati, it's almost like she's about to give in and give up and feel completely, downtrodden over this because she feels like she's letting Koyori down. She promised Koyori, that doki-doki sensation, that heart-thumping, throbbing sensation. You want to feel it, wait to watch for that moment in this gameplay. And Agati hadn't been able to achieve that at that point. And so then finally Agati herself came up with the idea, oh, maybe I'll use the backhand. So like answering every time I would say that to myself in my head, use the backhand, Agati, try the backhand, Finally, she ends up doing this, and then she even alternates. She goes back and forth between using the backhand and using the forehand to really mix the hell out of the team captain of the opposing team. And she just thoroughly earned that victory, even up to that point, the team captain on the opposing side still was keeping it toe-in-toe, neck-and-neck, points-wise. Agati took the win, and it was like, yeah, it was actually pretty damn satisfying to see that happen, because I was beginning to call it into question, as I say, with all of that back history between Kurori and the team captain, and like, why were they giving us all this information? Were they trying to make us feel for these characters? Well, it didn't quite work on me. I was still rooting for our main cast, and I was just so happy to see, because now we're getting to the match that I really want to see. I mean, outside of any sort of official gameplay matchups that might lead to the Nationals or something like that, this is the matchup I want to see, practice match or whatever it is, even if it was just, for fun. Seeing Kurori and Koyori going up against each other, going head to head, this is the one I am excited the most to see, and I'm dying, because of course we get the first couple minutes of their matchup beginning at the end of this episode, and it was so interesting, it kind of befuddled me. I wasn't sure what exactly Kurori was up to, because she pulls out this Tasmanian devil like tornado twist effect with the ball when she serves it to Koyori, and she turns her back on Koyori as if to imply she doesn't think Koyori will be able to return the serve. And, this comes right after the fact that Koyori had expressed to her in answer to that question, a couple episodes back now, what is your motivation in playing? Whereas it's for Kurori playing for the team captain and wanting to boost her and make her be the winner, the unsurmountable winner among all, in thanks, that is Kurori's drive. What is Koyori's? Koyori's is that doki doki sensation, feeling that heart-pumping stroke-out sensation, and she wants to bring that about even in her opponent, even in Kurori. But Kurori, she's the living dead girl. She's Beetlejuice, she's Miss Goth. She doesn't want to feel that at all. She doesn't think she's capable. She's like, forget it. I'm just going to play you to the death, man. I'm going to kill your ass. Lightning strike your ass. And so it just ramped up the excitement that much more. It's like, who is going to win? Who is going to beat who in this? I can't wait to see. I do hope it's Koyori, but I won't be that disappointed if it is Kurori, because I love Kurori. I love her character. She's absolutely insane and hilarious. But also, it's like I say, these girls, they are very resounding in taking whatever losses they might achieve and really turning it into, training that much harder, turning it into a win to come eventually, And that's aspiring and inspiring at the same time. And so even if they do lose, even if our main cast does lose, even if Koyori does have to bow out of this battle with Kurori, it's going to be very interesting, to see how they rebound from it one way or the other. And even though I will be hoping for Koyori to win, it could go either way, really. And this is the matchup I'm really just so stoked to see. And so, yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed this episode. Loved all the heartening backstory and backdrop that we were getting between Kurori and the team captain, the relationship between them, seeing how closely paralleled it is to our own team captain, Munemune, Agati, and Koyori, respectively, and all that kind of stuff, and how they managed to build the confidence of their own team, have all of the other members of this unique sort of spin-off team, the opposing team, all of them wanted to become a part of the table tennis league in their school, and they went to nationals because of just how badass they were. And so, it's that much more interesting to see our main cast of characters who have been on that, sort of upward spiral of really trying to achieve something for themselves and for each other, and how in support they've been of each other, to go up against such a badass, team with such a reputation. It's just all kinds of awesome, and this episode was no exception. So yeah, otherwise that'll be pretty much it for me on this. Hope this video finds you well, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.